In the heart of Peterborough, this is Salam Radio.
Salam alaikum, good evening, and welcome to the Property Wise Property Show. I'm your host, Kieran Bateman, and I am here with the man himself,
Shaz Nawaz, and good evening, Kieran.
Good evening, Shaz. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Hot, but very good. And you?
Also fairly warm and also really good. I have absolutely no complaints. And for those of you at home, if you do want to complain or you want to tell us how good things are for you as well, you can call into the studio on 01733 602 133, or you can text us on 07411 191 062, or you can comment on any of the live streams. Many ways to get in touch.
Always good, isn't it?
Always.
Makes it easy for people.
So, how's your day been? You've been incredibly busy today, Shaz, all day.
I have indeed, as you know, and you and I were supposed to do something later on, but we didn't get to do it because I've been so busy.
I know, but there's always tomorrow.
There's always tomorrow, yep. Tomorrow morning will be a good time to start.
Excellent.
But the good news is I can talk through, if you want, some of the stuff that I talked my team here and our team here in Pakistan, which I think be really useful.
I love that.
Might not be what people want, by the way, but it's I think really useful.
I love that plan.
You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Good. So we're talking generally about rules and laws, okay?
Yeah.
And I've shared initially a story about a police officer, senior police officer, who I used to work with in a previous life. And I said, officer, a lot of residents get annoyed with some of these rules and laws that are being implemented by government because they think they're harsh. Let's talk about car driving. And the officer said, rules and laws are made for good people. And I said, well, that can't be the case. More often than not, it seems like good people are being punished for all kinds of stuff. But he said, good people follow rules, so they have nothing to worry about, and they get safety and security through the rules. And rules and laws end up catching bad people, and they get punished. So it was a very different way of seeing things. So I thought, if you think about it, if a pilot doesn't follow rules, obviously there could be significant consequences.
Yeah.
If a surgeon doesn't follow rules, significant consequences. But there's people in everyday life who don't follow rules. Okay? And what are the consequences for them? So I started looking deeper into that. I came across something useful, which is the basic laws of human stupidity. And it's written in 1976 by Carlo Capello, who was an economic historian and philosopher. And here's the interesting thing, and I hope some of our listeners or viewers are going to call in about this. This could be really interesting to have a wider conversation. And he says stupid people are seen as a group more powerful by far than any major organization, such as the mafia or the military industrial complex, which without any regulations, Kieran, without any leaders or any manifesto, nonetheless manages to operate to great effect with incredible coordination.
Okay.
Isn't that profound?
Do
you know what I mean?
And when you think about it, it's, I mean, don't make something idiot proof. They'll just make a better idiot. Here's something along the similar lines.
I'll come on to that as well very shortly. But obviously, in terms of mindset, this is just slightly different way of seeing things. Because as you know, you and I talk quite often. Most people think about stupid people. They think they're clever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They get in their own way. Okay.
Can't be told they're wrong.
Exactly. So Capello says there's 5 fundamental laws of stupidity, and this is right up your street, Kieran. Number 1, always and inevitably, everyone underestimates the number of stupid individuals in circulation.
Yep.
I knew you'd like that one, yeah? The second one is that the probability of a certain person, that certain person is going to be stupid is independent of any other characteristic of that person. So they could be a doctor, they could be a dentist, they could be an accountant, they could be a teacher, they could be a professor, they could be a judge, a lawyer, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, their stupidity is independent of all the other traits.
Yeah, and something I think that is worth mentioning is stupidity is not a lack of intelligence. Stupid is stupid. Stupid is as stupid does. That doesn't mean unintelligent. It means stupid. No.
Yeah, that's right. And that's a good distinction. Number 3, or the third law, he says, which is that a stupid person is a person who causes loss to another person or a group of people while deriving no gain and even incurring losses personally. Now an intelligent person, as you said, okay, we'll do that. An unintelligent person, whatever anybody wants to quantify that, won't do that. Only a stupid person will do that.
Yeah.
So that's his third.
To the detriment of yourself and others, not just.
Yeah.
Because a vindictive person will quite happily be to the detriment of everyone else except themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a stupid person, well, doesn't matter what other things are going on, what other characteristics they have. What they do can hurt themselves as well as others.
Yeah. Number 4, he says non-stupid people, however we want to again quantify and qualify that. Okay. Always underestimate the damage of stupid individuals, and they tend to forget that at all times and places and under any circumstances that when they deal or associate with stupid people, it always turns out to be a costly mistake.
Yeah, something I was told many years ago by my grandfather was, and I'm sure he took this quote from somewhere else, never argue with stupid people. They drag you down to their level and beat you with experience.
Yeah, exactly. And another one that was shared with me quite some time ago was don't argue with the fool because people aren't going to notice the difference.
Oh, I like that one.
You know? Just going to think, well, there's two fools arguing there. Do you know what I mean? So why would you do that?
Guilty by association there.
Exactly, yeah. You took the word out of my mouth. And then he goes one step further, and he's got this matrix, which is obviously not so easy to describe. But if you just think north, south, east, west, north, he's got benefit to others. South, he's got losses to others. Okay. East, he's got benefits to themselves. And west, he's got losses to others. So if you kind of just think northeast, he says northeast is where on this matrix intelligent people are. They benefit others and
that benefits
in return benefit themselves. Okay. Bottom left.
Southwest.
Okay. Yeah.
Southeast.
Southeast. Okay. Are bandits. What they do is they bring a benefit to themselves, but they bring a loss to other people.
Yeah.
Then you've got southwest. Okay. Which is stupid people. They bring losses to other people and losses to themselves. And then you've got northwest, where you help helpless people. They benefit others, but it brings a loss
to themselves. Have we lost you there, Shaz?
Generally speaking, he says helpless people contribute to society by taking advantage of. Okay.
Yeah, that
Intelligent
makes sense.
Intelligent people contribute to society and leverage their contributions into their own personal benefit because they're doing good. And stupid people are counterproductive to both their and other people's interests. And obviously, bandits will pursue their own self-interest, even when it poses a net detriment and a loss to societal welfare. That was really good.
I mean, when you stop and think about it, and and I'm sure I know I can. I'm sure everyone can. Reflect on a time when they did something that was costly to themselves, ultimately costly to themselves and to the people around them, and that was stupid. And learning from that and not repeating things like that is growth. Consistently repeating that, you fall into Einstein's definition of insanity, repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, even though nothing has changed.
Exactly. But here's the rub. Bandits are the ones that are egotists, psychopaths, sociopaths, pathological liars, and using his word, which is jerks.
Okay, yeah.
Stupid people, he says, are losers, manipulators, always negative and play the victim card. Intelligent people are the ones who are winners, champions, positive and outcome based. So I find that very, very useful, and I'll share that obviously with you and our listeners, because it's a different way of seeing things, isn't it?
It is, and I like alternative views like that.
Yeah. Because it's just a different way of seeing things. So
it's as with all things, property and property business and mindset based. It's a mindset shift, isn't it? It's I've learned something today, and I've learned a different point of view that tells me something that I hadn't really put a lot of thought into before, but does require a lot of thought when you actually start delving down into it.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. And just, I think we probably talked about this before, but a barrister friend of mine, who I probably mentioned to you before, said to me, there's no such thing as uninteresting topics or subjects. All there is uninterested people.
Yeah.
No?
You're not talking about the wrong subject. You're just in front of the wrong audience.
Exactly. They're just not interested in it, so you've got to take an interest. And as you and I have talked about previously, is, to find stuff out, you've got to be thirsty for knowledge and research, because as you and I obviously have talked about previously, is there's known knowns, there's known unknowns, and there's unknown unknowns, which is you know what you know, you know what you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. And
that third
the only way to find out
what trips so many people up.
Exactly. But if you go out there and find different things, and some people are fixated, and again, we're all different. I get that. But we're all fixated on, a certain thing. For example, you talk to somebody, I only ever watch thriller movies, or I only read books on crime, or something else. They limit themselves, don't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Why not try something else? Why not read a book on economics? You might enjoy it. You might like it. It might be interesting to you. You learn something different. Why not read an autobiography or a biography? Why not read a book on
Oh, yeah,
cars, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
but
So
Shaz,
we don't put
that could be boring, and that could take me out of my comfort zone, and I'm not sure I want to step outside of my comfort zone to pick up something different. Different? Oh no, we don't like that.
Yeah. So, it's just a different, totally different mindset, isn't it? When you start
Yeah.
thinking about things in a very different way. Sometimes, what I find interesting, Kieran, is sometimes just a small tweak in terms of perspective, which just changes the whole, not just the meaning, but the way you actually see things.
Well, it's like the ship traveling from Southampton to New York. Leave Southampton 1 degree off course.
Yeah.
1 degree. 1 degree.
Did it end up in Pakistan?
Well, it ends up, it goes on the right journey, but it ends up in South America.
Yeah, but there you go.
Because of that 1 degree. And like you say, that one little shift can take you down a path that you had no idea existed before.
Yeah. And you know why that is?
I'm sure you're going to tell me, or at least I hope you're going to tell me.
Yeah. It's to do with time and distance, yeah?
Yes.
So the more time you take, and the more that you're going into the wrong, in the wrong direction, okay? Time and distance, okay? Catapult, okay? And multiply, and you end up in the wrong place.
Completely.
So as that ship goes on that journey, let's say it's 30 days, it's going off by a degree, okay? But it's 30 days, so it's going to end up being, the end. It's going to end up obviously in, using your example, in South America as opposed to New York. Yeah. It's not just 1 degree over 30 days. It's a lot more degrees. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to compound that, you go to the other end of the spectrum, and you take a penny, and you double that penny for 30 days.
Oh yeah. Incredible, isn't it?
Where do you end up? And
a lot of money.
I think it's something like £5 million.
Yes.
Something ridiculous like that. And that's the flip side of this story, isn't it? Is you go 1 degree, of course, with your ship. You go, instead of going to New York, which is firmly in the North American continent, you end up in South America. Well, if you take a penny and you add a penny and double it for 30 days, you end up as a millionaire. Well, two very similar processes are going on there, because it's just compounding whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's significant, isn't it?
Yeah, over time it's huge over time.
But people just don't think about that, really, do they?
And that's the nice thing about mindset. Is you can choose to change it. You can choose to learn. You can choose to you can make that decision at home by yourself that you want to learn more. You can make that decision to be closed-minded and that you know everything and you don't want to learn more. That's your choice.
Absolutely, but the important word there, Kieran, is choice.
Yep. And I will always choose to learn more, because there is so much out there that I do not know and I do not understand. And I really want to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's having that kind of hungry mindset and working towards or understanding every day is a school day is what divides the successful and obviously that's again a word that people have defined themselves. It means different things to different people, but it defines the successful from the not so successful.
Yeah, but very much so. And one of the things we were discussing the other week is everyone is self-made. Only the successful admit it.
Exactly.
And I do love that phrase.
Well, everybody gets blamed, don't they?
Well, it's not my fault I'm not successful. It's yours, or it's hers, or it's his. Or it's the system. The system's against me, Shaz. That's what it is. The system.
It's always a the system against me, yeah. But you can get that everywhere, I mean, no matter where you go.
You do, but
when people are always looking for
And I think this is a good exercise for the listeners at home and the viewers to try. When you think something's against you, and when you think, whether it's the system, whether it's a person, whether it's, whatever's holding you back, do this exercise. You're blaming something else. Okay, quantify the blame. And by that I mean, oh, they're out to get you. Okay, who are they? Define who they are. Once you've defined who they are, then you can go, okay, how exactly are they stopping me? Answer that question. How are they stopping you? Are they physically, tying you down and preventing you from leaving the house? Are they actively blocking all your communications?
Exactly. Yeah.
And once you've answered those two questions, honestly, you'll find that a lot of the time you are in your own way, not somebody else. And it takes a lot to admit that.
Yeah. And two of the things that came out of this political conversation that people shared, one was that, again, this is just to be helpful, is your view or my view per se. And someone was talking about social media, and they said, social media to the mind is like CO2 emissions to the planet, or petrol to a fire, or excess sugar to the body. It's not good for you. It fills your mind with mainly useless information. Okay, overloads your mind, slows you down, makes you tired, and makes you unproductive. The only caveat that they put there was, unless you're following an authority, i.e. somebody who is a known expert.
Yeah. It's a great resource for procrastination.
Yeah, exactly. And somebody else said this, stop watching the news on TV. Again, this is their view simply because they said you're wasting your time on things you can't influence, and it's not relevant in terms of what you want to achieve in your life. So you most likely can't change it, and why are you focusing on it? So it's interesting to see how different people see different things,
Yeah, it really, really is. I mean, but be careful not to take things like that too far. I would say I would caution people not to take things too far, because because you hear it a lot around, certainly around election time. Oh, I'm not going to bother because it's not going to make a difference anyway. Well, don't be too quick to and this comes back to mindset. Well, if everyone thinks like that, then nothing will ever change.
Exactly.
If everyone takes a stand, it's a unified stand, something will change. You can get change across the field. But it's having that understanding that it's got to be, that's a group approach rather than an individual approach. You can't change something individually, but you as a group can change a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as you know, I used to hear that a lot. But it's your democratic right. And I've always been of the opinion, by the way, without getting obviously into politics, because as you know, that's a subject that I find interesting. But
that's a Pandora's box I don't want to open too far.
I know, and we'll get in trouble for talking about politics on our episode. But if you don't vote, for example, whatever it could be, then I always tell people, then you don't have a right to vote.
I agree.
You didn't exercise the opportunity to say, I want it to be this way or that way. Whether you get your person elected or not, okay? You just said, I don't want to participate, I don't like it. But then why are you voting for?
Yeah, I completely agree. If you don't complain, because you've chosen the status quo. It's a choice.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, I mean, I hear so many times, and I'm sure you have as well, on the doorstep. It's not going to make a difference. But if you add all those people up, they are probably the biggest majority, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100% they are.
Yeah. So, because, I mean, if you look at local elections, again, this obviously linking this to our overall mindset here, is turnout is anywhere 15, 18, 20%, really well, 25%, 30% at best. Well, 70% haven't voted. You know what I mean? They are clearly the majority.
Yeah, and if all of that 70% turned out, suddenly big things would shift, big things would change, and the whole system would suddenly realise where people truly sit. But too many people are apathetic. And this comes down to mindset. A lot of that mindset is that you don't have power. And the reality is you really, really do. In your own, and veering back to property now and mindset, you have the power to change whatever you want to change, but it's always down to you. You've got to take that accountability, and you've got to make 100%. That choice to change the things you want to change, and you've got to aim for was it northeast quadrant, the intelligent helping?
Yeah, exactly
that. And with that wraps us nicely up into a break. We will be back just after this, and we shall see you shortly.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
At Master's Pharmacy, we put your health and convenience first. We offer free blood pressure checks and blister-packed medication. With our free same-day prescription delivery service, you can have your medication when you need it. We also offer travel vaccinations, including Hajj and Umrah, along with other services to meet all your pharmacy needs. For more information, contact Master's Pharmacy on 01733 567 208 or visit us at 303 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PH.
Where can you get high quality and low prices? Amar Food Store and Halal Meat in Lincoln Road Triangle is the place to go. Pay us a visit and take advantage of our special offers and great range of products on groceries, vegetables, fruits and halal meat. Also send money to Pakistan absolutely free. We have all top brands at special offers, offer free customer parking and provide a free local delivery service. Amar Food Store and Halal Meat, 613B Lincoln Road, Peterborough. Call us on 01733 687 374. High in quality, low in prices.
Masterminds Tuition Academy is for your high schoolers, your something to provers, your subject strugglers and keen learners, your brave jumpers and fist pumpers. Affordable personalised learning plans are delivered through our centres in schools across Peterborough. But not to worry, we also provide online and home visits with flexible timings. Whether it is maths, English, science or 11+, Masterminds is a must. Find us on all socials and visit our website mastermindstuitionacademy.com or call us on 07516 166 003. Masterminds, master the matrix.
Thinking of laser hair removal but worried about cost? Well Skin Clinic, Peterborough's #1 aesthetic clinic, offers 0% finance on courses of laser hair removal. We perform thousands of treatments using the Soprano titanium in our prestigious clinic. Virtually pain-free and suitable for all skin types, our team of aesthetic professionals can help you achieve your goals affordably. Well Skin Clinic, making life-changing aesthetic treatments affordable for all. 40 Cowgate, Peterborough. Call or WhatsApp us on 01733 555540.
Satisfy your cravings at Ibrahimi Buffet Restaurant. Enjoy a tantalising variety of Chinese, Italian, Pakistani and comfort food favourites, from starters to desserts. Kids under 5 dine for free, so bring the whole family to our location at 63 Sycamore Avenue. Open every day from 5 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. Call us on 01733 313131 or book online to reserve your table. Ibrahimi-restaurant.co.uk. Every bite is a delight at Ibrahimi Buffet Restaurant.
You could be driving, you might be cooking, you could even be working. But whatever you're doing, you're also listening to Salam Radio. And if you're in business, your potential new customers could be listening too. So talk to them and let them know what you have to offer. Advertising on Salam Radio is affordable and effective. And by doing so, you're also supporting this valuable and important voice within the community. Call 07866 319 679 or find Salam Radio online and across social media.
If you have an idea for a show and want to get involved, email.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening and welcome to the Property Wise Property Show. I'm your host, Kieron Bateman. I am here with Mr. Shaz Nawaz from across the planet, and you can get in touch with us. You can call the studio on 01733 602 133. You can text us on 07411 191 062, or you can comment on any of our live streams. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch and Twitter. So there are loads of ways to get in touch. We would love to hear your thoughts on anything we've spoken about. Feel free to get in touch, and we will happily answer your questions live on air if you have them. And I'm sure that at some point we will get more and more people coming in. But until such time, it'll just be me and Shaz.
Of course we will. Of course we will, Kieron.
Because ultimately, we are here to serve you guys at home.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people just enjoy listening to us. That's my
listening to my
view
dulcet
anyway.
tones and your dulcet tones.
Horses for courses, isn't it?
It is horses for courses. I do love that. So anyway, we are now into the property side of our Property Wise show. As always, we do a first half on mindset to help people understand why we're doing what we're doing and how we achieve this and what we learn on a weekly basis. And mindset is a massive part of that. And then afterwards, we switch to some property things. Investment in property business, and all of that fun stuff, the good juicy bits. But before we get started, I must let everyone know that neither of us are financial experts. If you want financial advice, go and seek someone who does that for a living, because I don't do it for a living. And with that out of the way, property and the things with property and property businesses comes business structures, and there are a number of different structures. Shaz, you are well versed in multiple business structures, are you not?
You heard that talk many a time, haven't you?
I have.
You probably know it off by heart.
I reckon I could successfully get through half of it.
Yeah, that's the half that I do the presentation. The second half is answering questions.
Yeah, that's the bit you can continue to do. Yeah, I'll leave
Yeah,
that with you.
absolutely. Yeah, cheers, mate.
Hey, I'm here to support you.
You are indeed. So you do the first half of the next 25 minutes, and then I'll answer any questions that come in. How's that?
That sounds fun. So with a property business, like all businesses, there are multiple avenues you can take to get into business, and the majority of people start out with, as I'm going to use an industry term here, they're called accidental landlords, and that is they either inherit a property or they buy a property, then they get together with somebody else, and rather than selling both properties to buy one bigger property, they keep theirs, or their partner keeps theirs, and then they buy together in a separate property. And these people generally have multiple properties in their own names. And that comes with its own set of complications when it comes to paying the tax man, doesn't it, Shaz?
Absolutely, and it is indeed. And all too often, as you know, people end up in a situation where they haven't thought about these things. And I guess it's easier for people like you and me to talk about it because we see it day in, day out. Somebody who hasn't got the experience of this stuff here, they just buy a house and for themselves, and then end up moving out, downsizing or upsizing, upgrading. and end up renting the first house, and as time goes on, they use the equity there, refinance or whatever they want to do, and 10 years down the road, they've got 5 properties, but they only ever bought them in their own names because that's all they ever know. And this person, let's say, could be employed, doing a full-time job, but they've never had the opportunity to explore other structures like a limited company or limited liability partnership or a partnership, because all they ever know is when they go to see their broker, for example, it's not the broker's fault at all, by the way, but the broker says, you've got 3 properties in your name, fourth one, are you buying in your name? And the person says yes, because that's all they know.
Yeah. And
that gone, yeah.
And this comes back to what we were saying, what we've said time and time before. You don't know what you don't know. And if all you have ever known is you buy a property, you buy it in your own name, that's all you do.
Exactly. And that used to work superbly well to some extent back in the day, but when Section 24 came in, where you can't claim all your mortgage or your finance costs if you are a high rate taxpayer, changed the game, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Completely changed the game. And but so many people still fall into that category of not knowing, and because they don't know and they're not. I'm not going to say they're not interested in learning. I'm going to say it's more a case of they get themselves into this situation by accident almost, and then they're like, oh yeah, houses are a good idea, let's do that, and then they buy a house, they refinance, they take equity, whichever way they process it, or they've got an extremely well paid job, they can afford to buy whichever process they take. They're so consumed with doing whatever it is they do as a profession, for a living, and the thing they're actually interested in. This becomes more of a side. Oh, that's a nice thing to have. It's a nice to have, not a focus. And because it doesn't become a focus, and because they're not interested in it directly, that it's just a nice to have because it's a little bit of extra income on the side. They don't research it, and so they never find out and they never know. And like you say, the people around them, the brokers, they ask the question, are you buying in your own name? And that rarely is enough of a question to spark people thinking, hold on a minute, is there another way?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But I think, I'll tell you what, Section 24 did get people thinking about that quicker than anything else.
I'll bet it did.
But as you know, back in those days, the number of funders, lenders that were open to lending via limited companies was a very, very small number. And I remember was going back 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
But now the market's opened up because more and more people are buying through a limited company. So I think it's important.
Product for need.
Just like we said, but we've said so many times about research, and no such thing as ignorance is bliss in the current time, because there's so much information out there that people ought to make a bit of an effort and have a bit of a nosy online just to get started. Obviously, all the information online isn't true or accurate, simply because some people somewhere are posting their own opinion, whether it's on social media or their own blog site, whether they're posting an unqualified opinion. So it doesn't mean they're right, but at least it raises your awareness. And I'm not too sure if you and I have talked about the reticular activation system that's now mine. Yep, RAS.
We haven't spoken about that yet.
We haven't.
No.
So when I buy a new car, what do I see on the road, Kieron?
The car's in front of you.
Okay. No, that's Toyota, by the way.
All right. I see what you did there. I like it.
But you tend to see the same make and model
of the car you're driving.
Yeah, exactly. Or you see cars in the same color,
Yes.
don't you?
Yes.
So you've got a white car, haven't you?
I
You
have
probably
now.
notice more white cars now, don't you?
I do. And before I had a black car, and I mean, quite a nice car. And you'd think that there aren't too many of them around, but there are. There's loads.
Exactly. Yeah. But you're more likely to pick that up than I am. So that's your reticular activation system says, oh, hold on a minute, because now you raise your awareness to that thing. It picks it up. And that's basically how obviously our mind works on a very basic level. And so people have to make the effort to say, well, let me see what other options there are. It's just again, it's about being curious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Be about curious about what is there. And then before you know it, you find out, well, there's this thing called an LLP, which is a limited liability partnership, as a limited company, and then you start looking at, okay, how does it work? Well, you've got to file your information online if you have both these types of companies or structures, and they are obviously formed via company's house. You then start looking a bit further into this whole thing and say, well, how does it work? And you soon find out, well, if I have an LLP, I've got members, which just to keep it simple, are the partners, and you then realize, well, an LLP is transparent for tax purposes, i.e. it doesn't pay any tax, but the partners and the members pay the tax based on their allocation of the profits, which they take as because they take that as drawings. And whereas if you're a limited company, for example, the company is a separate legal entity and pays corporation tax on the profits it makes. Now then you've got shareholders who might be directors, because most of these are closed companies, small companies, and directors then need to think about whether they want to take a salary and or dividends. If it's salaries, PAYE pays you on, and if it's dividends, obviously they've got to pay the applicable tax on that.
Not to be mistaken for the fact that a lot of people, if they don't do the research, seem to think that because they are the director and owner of their own limited company, they can stick their hand in the cookie jar
and do whatever they like.
And that's just simply not the case.
Yeah, and then Kieron in for a nasty shock.
Yeah, when the tax man knocks on the door.
Yeah. Exactly. 9 months after the year end. So let's say somebody has an accounting year end of 30th of June, any 1 year. But 9 months later, 31st of March, if the money that they've taken, isn't taken as a salary, bonus, or dividend, they're going to pay something called Section 455 tax. It's a penalty tax.
And it hurts.
Yes, it hurts, and it gets worse. If you haven't paid the company interest on those funds, then you could have filed a P11D. If you haven't filed a P11D, which is where you declare benefits in kind, then you'll have a late filing penalty from HMRC for that. So you know, ignorance really isn't bliss.
Ignorance in this case is very, very, very costly.
Yeah, it's costly. Yeah. Then as you delve a bit further, you realize, well, in an LLP, I've got members, i.e. partners, and we've got an LLP agreement, which means that we can share our profits in different allocations, should we choose to do so. So 1 year you make 100,000, and I could say, Kieron, if you're 50, you said you need 75,000 this year because you want to buy a new car or whatever. You take 75, I'll take 25. There's plenty of funds in the account because we've got surplus funds there anyway, and I'll take those next year or whenever. And as long as us two trust each other and there's cash there or whatever our arrangement is, that works. So you can be flexible on the profit share based obviously on your LLP agreement. The rub though, Kieron, is the majority of people go to partnership, tend to go to partnership as a husband and wife scenario. Not everybody, but the majority of small business owners and property investors.
What goes wrong?
It can't go wrong.
They
They're
don't need
married.
an agreement. We're married.
They're deeply in love. They've got 3 children together. They've got 2 pets together. And
Yeah, but one of them's a goldfish,
possibly
and the
go wrong?
cat's looking at that like it's lunch.
Yeah, about that situation as well at home quite a few years ago, so I know exactly what you mean. Okay. But you know, so people don't think about these things. But if you don't have an LLP agreement, okay, when you've got a problem if you fall out, but the same applies to a limited company. If you don't have a shareholders agreement, if things don't go wrong, if things go wrong, you've got consequences in terms of one party trying to sue the other, because as you know, it's always somebody else's fault. So one blames the other, the other blames the first one, and it's just a mess.
And this brings
You've
us
got
nicely back to a previous episode of the power of positive, negative thinking. Plan for the worst.
That's right. That's the one. The positive power of negative thinking. Right,
That's
got
the
it.
one.
Yeah. And so you've got that. And on top of that, you then realize, well, hold on a moment. If I've got a company, we all own, or two of us own 50% of the shares each. So we've got both take a 50% dividend, because otherwise it starts getting complicated with dividend waivers. You then start looking at, okay, what I can do is have different classes of shares. So alphabet shares, A, B, C, D, or so on and so forth. So you go into that. Then you think, okay, well, we can have other family members or friends who contribute something towards a property venture, so we can give them some shares as well, but not the ordinary share capital, but the alphabet shares. So that becomes something interesting. And
whole
obviously,
new
know what I
avenue
mean?
to research.
Yeah. Then you think, okay, we've got children growing up, and whatever, we want to do some legacy planning, so start giving them some alphabet shares, but make them growth shares, and make our shares freeze the shares. So we freeze the value of our shares, and all the future growth goes to the growth shares. Again, just a game changer for certain people who are creating wealth for the next generation and intergenerational wealth. Because as you know, majority of wealth is created through generations and not the first or second generation alone. As long as you can obviously keep it safe, because the first generation created, the second generation blows it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it don't get to the third generation, does it? No. So, but you've got to make sure that it does get to the third generation. So you've got all of that interesting. And then, as you know, my favorite topic on this is you think, well, now we've owned 2 or 3 properties in a particular limited company. We're going to broaden our horizons, because we've heard of all these different property strategies, from flips to service accommodation to commercial conversions to deal sourcing, deal packaging, buying land, flipping it on, selling it on, lease purchases, so on and so forth. Well, how about we create some kind of a holding company? At the top, we have a holding company where we own the shares, and then beneath that we have subsidiaries, okay, where we
All the
make
special
investments.
purpose vehicles, as they're said.
Special purpose vehicles, SPVs, you got it all in one. So then you go down that particular route and say, well, what can I do with all of those things? And who else can we add to different companies for different projects? Well, it's an open field. You can add as many people as you like, in the sense that you can have 3 or 4 different projects at the same time, or whatever number you want, with different parties and entities, and just use your holding company as your main structure. You know what I mean? It's just in a way, it's a minefield, but in a way, there's so many things to think about. It's unbelievable.
And then people get into further into this, and my preferred method personally is I like holding companies, but then somebody will say to someone within this structure, oh, have you heard about hybrids? And then that's a whole different wormhole to go down, and suddenly people are talking about SPVs and ring fencing and separate companies and limited companies and hybrid companies, and There's lots to get through there. There's so much, so deep to go into. But if you don't know where to start, and you're starting as effectively a sole trader on your own, and then potentially add your partner, add your spouse, add your wife, add your husband, add your old enough children to a partnership. You can create a partnership, limited company, and it all grows, and it all depends on what your ultimate goal is.
Yeah, and then to add to that, without obviously confusing people too much, but to obviously raise their awareness, is you then got, okay, what about we form a trust and all the different forms of trusts that exist out there, and looking at those. What if we look at exit planning and we're going to sell? How do we manage that? And can we claim things like business asset disposal relief? What if we're into service accommodation and we're buying property and spending quite a bit of money on renovating it and claiming capital allowances? What if now we want to start putting some money into a pensions? Is it a SIP or is it a SAPS? Which way do we go? What do we look at? There's other alternatives
and
too.
if you want to know more about pensions, I suggest you go back and listen to our episode with Kevin Whelan.
Exactly. I mean, he was phenomenal, wasn't he? He was brilliant, wasn't he? Yeah. Sharing all that information on SAS and how the whole thing works, and talking about gold. But did you see? It's just there's so many different things to think about.
It's like a spider's web. You start at one point, and then you just pick a direction, and suddenly you've got 3 more choices, and then 8 more choices, then 10 more choices, and suddenly you are really, really deep into something, and then you need, trusted people on your power team, people like Shaz, people, who know about these sorts of things in depth, at length. And I mean, we could do a full hour on company structure and the pros and cons of holding companies, and the pros and cons of a limited company, sole trader, limited partnership, individual partnership, hybrid partner. We could go, seriously, listeners, we could do a long discussion on all of those things. But to keep it succinct and just to raise your awareness, this is the sort of thing that if you don't know, you don't know. Your research comes in key and comes in absolute clutch to raise your awareness to these sorts of things, and to go and seek out people like that know about these things, that can help you navigate that entire world of company structures and potential structures, and depending
100%.
on what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even talked about having property in your own name or having a standard partnership. But then once you looked at all that, Kieron, I've got my succession planning in place, for example. We know we're going to distribute the profits well now. Have a look at your management structure and see how that works out for you, and then think about all the different duties, roles, and responsibilities of the partners, and how that's going to work out. Do you know what I mean? And that's a long, deep conversation in terms of how you want all of that to pan out. There's a lot there for people to
there is so much there to unpack, and
I'm not keen to obviously to add in more things right now because anybody who's listening to the show, there's plenty that we've shared for people to think about just these two structures.
And I highly advise people to go and do their own research and look into it if they're interested in it more, and to not be interested in it more if you're getting into property as a property business, I think would be to your own detriment.
Well, it's application of responsibility, isn't it? Really, think about it.
Yeah, and this goes back to something we said right at the top, and that is everyone is self-made. So only the successful that admit it. And if you're going to be self-made, you need to be prepared to put in the steps, put in the footfall, put in the legwork.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you said, you've got to learn some stuff yourself, and then obviously delegate it or appoint somebody to look after it for you. But just I would still urge people to learn some of the basics, just for their own improvement. I've got an accountant to look after the whole thing for me. Fine. Or got a lawyer to look after the whole thing for me. Fine. Learn the basics for yourself. Because if you've been in this business for a while, then you must know a bit about this stuff. Because if nothing else, Kieran, when you know a bit about it, okay, without it being dangerous knowledge for you, where you think you know a lot, you then know what kind of questions to ask, don't you?
Yeah, and
that's the important thing.
And yeah,
Right.
asking informed questions will serve you so much better than just going into a professional's office and going, so tell me about blah, because there will be, you know, as we've demonstrated this today, certain subjects are really, really nuanced and really, really deep once you start getting into them. And to ask someone who fundamentally you are paying for their time to tell you about, to use today's example, company structures, well, that could be a 5-6 hour conversation. Whereas go in there and say, tell me about how a holding company works with this in mind, that's a lot more structured, a lot more nuanced, and a lot more focused for them to give you a much more concise answer.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah, and that, dear listeners, is about all we have time for today. We will be back once again next week at the same time, 6 till 7, with the Property Wise Property Show. Until then, Assalamu alaikum.
Bye.
You're listening to Salam Radio, and it's now time for Asr Azan. This Azan is sponsored by Park Foods. Come and see the difference.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.